Hi guys, welcome back to Butte Mountain Homestead. Today's video is a little bit of hodgepodge of everything. This time of year, that's how it goes. There's some stuff outside and then there's stuff in the kitchen. So getting things wrapped up for the holidays, and it's a little bit busy, so I'm going to make this video just what it is, but at least I'm making a video. And we're going to start getting into preparing for our seeds for early spring, late winter planting. I'm in zone 9, so I can start my seeds indoors around middle of February. And I just want to go through what I have and I'll walk you through all of that. So anyways, I just wanted to thank you all for coming, and I wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you don't celebrate Christmas, we just wish you a blessed weekend and just enjoy yourself and the weather. We're due to get a lot of rain all at once on Monday for us. We don't get very much rain, so when we get 1 to 2 inches all at once, it's kind of a big deal for us. We're a dry land farmer, so we need the water for sure. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the video going, but remember to always be kind and do what makes you happy, and we will see you on the next video. Have a great day. Good morning. So I'm just going to, I have a little bit of almonds left over from making Christmas snack tins, and as much as we like raw almonds, I like blanched almonds even better. So I'm going to just, I don't know, this is probably 2 cups left. I'm just going to blanch them in some boiling water for about a minute, just until the skins start to pucker a little bit. And I'll show you, but the process goes really quick, so I won't have much time to show you. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna count down, but yeah, they start to wrinkle up pretty quick. What this does is it separates, or allows the skins to separate from the nut, and then they peel really easy. They just slip right out of the, and I'll show you that too, but it doesn't take very long. Then I just drain them and I rinse them with a little bit of cold water. That way I can handle them a little bit better. Let's see. Oh yeah, see? Slips right off. Then once I'm done with all of these, then I'm going to toss them in some olive oil and salt. And I'm going to roast them. I'm going to do about 10 minutes at a time. Oh, this one doesn't want to come off very well. There we go. Yeah, see? And then keep turning them. And I like mine just a little overdone, like some brown or black on them. But yeah, these are a nice snack. My grandpa used to do this, so brings back memories. They would have a blue container on their coffee table, and it was either full of candy, the Brock's candy, the mix, or it had almonds, blanched almonds. So, and you can buy these in the store, but almonds are already expensive enough, and to find a blanched is ridiculous. So I just do it myself, just like that. And then what I might do is I'll see if the chickens want the hulls. I doubt they do, but I'll try. Okay, that took about maybe 15 minutes to peel all of them. So now I'm just going to dry them off with some paper towel, just blot them. It didn't even do a whole tray. Excuse my cookie sheet, but they are well used. So, and I don't even try. I mean, in the beginning I do, but after that, and a lot of what does this, people don't realize this, cooking sprays do that. Same with the edges of like glass pans and stuff when you use cooking spray. But anyways, I'm gonna blot these dry and then get a little bit of oil and some Redmond's real salt on them and get them in the oven. Oh, and I should have filmed this part, but did you know that if you need to add oil, oil to something to toss, whether it's like vegetables or meat, that if you put it in a container or a bag, you'll use less oil than if you do it on a pan. Reason being because the oil kind of goes all over. And this just kind of keeps it contained in a smaller area. I used probably not even all tablespoon, and they are plenty. And then I used about probably half a teaspoon of Redmond's real salt. And just coated them, and I'll put them on the pan. Even there. And then I'm going to stick them in a 375 oven. I'm going to do about 20 minutes to start, and then see where we're at. Probably give them a good toss, and then do them probably another 10 or 15 minutes and see where that ends up. While we're waiting, we got a nice foggy morning. I like I like cloudy and foggy days. Not too many in a row, like sunshine every now and then, and it's good for you. But yeah, this morning I couldn't even see that it's a little access road that we use to go out to the back of the property, way out that way. Oh, see, you can barely see one of the eucalyptus trees down there. But it's been this way for, well, since I've been awake at 6, so about 3 hours. Okay, these came out absolutely perfect for us. We like them, like I said, a little bit overdone. So I just have a cute little bowl I'm going to set on the counter, and we'll use that to snack on the next couple days. Anyways, like I said, a quick and easy snack, full of protein, with 3 ingredients: almonds, a little bit of olive oil, and mineral salt. That was it. And I made it, so I know what we're eating. We don't always can control. Well, we can by reading labels, but sometimes you just want what you want. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of make compromises and try to eat whole ingredients as possible. So there you go. Hope you enjoy. So I'm just out filling hummingbird feeders, and I'll get some. I have a little bit of bird seed left. So this time of year, they need the extra stuff. So I really don't do it during the summertime, maybe occasionally, but there's so much for them to eat on during the spring and summer. So winter is when the birds need our help. So yep, filling the hummingbird feeders, and then I just make my own concoction, just water and sugar, and boil it to dissolve it, and then let it cool, and then there you go. I think some recipes call for 1-to-1 ratio, but I don't do 1-to-1. I do 1-to-1/2. So 1 part water, 1/2 part sugar, and it's plenty. So they empty them. So broccoli is doing really good. Hasn't minded the cold. A few little purple leaves. Oh, and then 1 leaf growing up through can tell we have a little bit of a wind. Let's see, get these off here for today. Oh, look at that one. Goodness sakes. Oh, it's nice. No head forming yet, but that little guy's getting with the program, but that's okay. These back 4 will provide us broccoli after these are harvested. And what I do is I just harvest the first crown, the big one that comes in the center, and then I just let them keep growing, because then there's side shoots that end up providing darn near the equivalent of another crown. So you almost get two crowns, which is for us probably 3 or 4 meals off of 1 stalk of broccoli or whatever broccoli plant. And like I said, those back 1, 2, 3, 4 little guys, maybe 5 little guys, they'll be after the fact. So, and then This is a weedy mess. When I get in here and prune these, I'm not sure that one made it. But from the heat, because there's no green on there. There's green on that one still. But when I get in there and prune them, I need to weed this bed. And then that bird netting on there is for the birds to stay off of there and eating what blueberries we get. But it's still pretty misty and foggy. Jean said they're not able to go out on the tractors to plant today because the ground is so wet from the fog that there's just no way. So they have lots of maintenance to do in the shop. So that's what he's doing today. Farmer's job is always, there's always something to do. So they have quite a bit to do. But yeah, this is pretty cool on this tree. This was a volunteer cottonwood. That's only 3 years old. This is its 3rd year. So that is pretty awesome. I mean, it's, I would say from the ground up, not from where it came up. That's got to be, what, 10 feet, 12 feet? So I need to get out here and prune some of those lower limbs. And we have leaves now. I'll probably be cutting those leaves in the future, but it'll provide shade. So, and I might get out here and start pre-digging on a hole right around there for, I think, one of the citrus trees I'm going to put in there, since I already have them. And then a couple of the holes for the greenhouse. I think I talked about that in last video. They had filled in, so I'm going to go ahead and get those cleaned out. And I was going to paint boards today, but not with this dampness. They won't dry. It's only 34 right now. So while this fog's here, it's going to stay pretty cool and that paint won't dry. So it will now have to wait. And that's just how it goes. Oh, look at, oh, the wild canaries. Oh gosh. Wild canaries and then some sparrows. Not too fond of the sparrows, but the wild canaries, yes. They're usually about a couple dozen of them. And they fly through here. They're wanting some food, so I'm going to go do that. But everything else is, oh, I was going to show you these onions. Let's see. Look at how much those have grown. Those liked whatever sun we got and then a little bit of moisture. Those are just, I think these are the yellow Spanish. Yep. Yellow sweet Spanish. They are just, they're getting with it, so I like that. And these are the red ones. They're getting a little bit of growth too. And then, like I showed, also the garlic. But they've also went through a little bit of a spurt. And all this little stuff you see growing up is this had a cover crop in it last year to help amend the soil from growing tomatoes in it for 4 years. Because obviously I'm not going to clean out all of the soil and put new soil in. What I may have to do now is, because it has that crappy dirt in it and it is sinking a little bit too, is I will amend it once everything is up before something goes in the spring. Is I'll have to amend it with good soil again. I have half of mine just to do, well, next fall what I'll do is I'll do a cover crop again, because they call it like the green manure. But yeah, all of this stuff is from that. That's a weed. But the carrots, what little carrots I reseeded there, they're finally taken off. That's a weed. But there's where I spilt the carrot seeds. I'm just going to let them go. That's fine. But yeah, I'll get succession planting on the carrots too. Or succession harvest on the carrots too, which is fine. I'll have to thin them out. I don't like doing that. But I don't want little guys either. So that's going to have to get thinned out. And those are probably going to have to get thinned out too. But pretty cool. Hi guys, so today, see, I had a chicken, some chicken parts left over, so I took all the meat off of them. Then the bones are going to go in the freezer bag to make chicken broth, because I've already made a bunch of chicken broth off of the chicken carcass. I didn't do bone broth because I only cooked it for a few hours, but it turned out really good. And then those were the drippings from the pan, and I skimmed the fat off. But I'm just going to make a quick little pot of chicken noodle soup because today's a nice dreary day, and it's using the rest of the chicken and some of the chicken broth. So because I know how much, I know how to make a small batch and I know how to make a big batch of chicken noodle soup. So I'm just using 1 stalk of celery, 2 small carrots, a really small onion. Like I said, the rest of the chicken, meat off the bones. I had used part of this for, I think making chicken enchiladas the other night. And I still have more in the fridge, so if I need more, I will. But some garlic and just some spaghetti noodles, and I just break those up into pieces, and some salt and pepper, and that usually does it. So pretty easy. So what I mean by putting the peelings in a freezer bag is what I do is I just save a bag with bones or chicken carcass, and then all the peelings from vegetables. So like the ends of the celery, the ends and the peelings of the carrots, and then the onion skins, and if I had fresh garlic, I would put the garlic skins in there too. And then when this bag is full, I take out all the bones, and I cook to make bone broth, and I let them cook for a really long time, probably over 30 hours. And then the last 6 hours, I add in the vegetables. And I changed that up recently because I noticed it had a taste. I mean, it was good, but there was just a weird taste to it. And then I was watching a video from Roots and Refuge Farm. She was saying that hers, it gives it a weird taste by cooking those vegetables that long. So I tried it that way, and it tastes much better. So now I've been doing it that way, where I add the vegetables like the last 6 hours. And I throw in bay leaf and salt and water and that type of stuff. But I'll show you a video someday when I'm doing that. And then excuse the lighting today, but I kind of like cooking in moody lighting if it's during the day. It's, I don't know, it's just very calming to me. Anyway, so these are going to go in the bag. I'm going to get these diced up, and then I'm going to get those 3 and some garlic sauteing and softening up, and go from there. Okay, I've just got them in a pot with a little bit of olive oil. I'm just going to stir these for probably about 5 minutes until they start to soften. I've diced the carrots really small, so it shouldn't take that long. And then I just add some mineral salt. I use Redmond's real salt. I don't measure, but if I had to guess, that would probably be about half a teaspoon, just a little bit, probably over half a teaspoon. So a pinch, and then same with pepper. Actually, I do 2 on the pepper. And then when this is about ready to be completely softened, then I'll add in the garlic. That way the garlic doesn't burn. I also am going to add some parsley. This isn't from our garden because we were out. I have some growing now, but not enough to dry. Some sage, and then some thyme. And I'll add those in as well. Probably, if I had to guess, probably a teaspoon each. Maybe half a teaspoon on that because it is kind of potent. So I do add those as well. And then here's I'm just cutting up the chicken, so that's giving me about probably a cup and a half by the time I'm done. So 1 whole chicken. I mean, guys, if you're not using a whole chicken to its fullest, then you need to start. And for those that already know what I'm talking about, you can skip this if you want. But for those who don't know, a whole chicken can provide you with many more meals than just eating a roast chicken. The night I roasted the chicken, and we didn't even have it for roast chicken. I just cooked it, and then I let it cool down. And hold on, gotta get this. Yeah, it's starting. I need to turn it down. Is I let it cool, and then I took all the meat off of the breast. I take the skins off because what I do is I save the skins and I put them in the air fryer, and then I make like a chicken chip out of them. But so most of the chicken breast went into a chicken pot pie, which was in a 9.5 pie pan. That went to an elderly client's for kind of their Christmas present, because I also have a part-time housekeeping business. And then the other half of the chicken breast and some of the brown meat went into chicken enchiladas the next night. And then this was the rest of the dark meat. And then the chicken carcass went into a pot immediately with the vegetable scraps and bay leaf, salt and pepper, and I boiled that for 3 hours and then let it cool, strained off all the parts, and then now I have chicken broth. I just put it in the refrigerator. I'm going to be using it over the next couple days, so it doesn't need to be frozen or canned. So, and I think it gave me 5 quarts, and then this little bit of the pan juices that I had skimmed off the fat. And then the bones that were from this dark meat bowl went into the scrap bag for the next set of chicken broth. So, I mean, that one 5-pound, I think it was 6-pound chicken provided, oh my gosh, if you think of what a chicken pot pie, enchiladas for 2 nights, and then this pot of chicken soup, not counting all the chicken broth, and then chicken wings and the chicken breast skin for basically a lunch. So that's a lot, and I'll do more of an in-depth video later on, or if you have any messages, just comment below, and I will get to them the best I can. But yeah, just don't use a roasting chicken for just one meal and then toss it. There's so much you can do. So anyways, I need to get to this before everything starts burning, so hang tight. Okay, I didn't end up using all of this, so I'm just going to put it in a little small freezer container and then stick it in the fridge. And that way, if I want chicken noodle soup, another batch of this, because I used about half of this, so that will give me another pot of chicken noodle soup, like next week. So yeah, there's plenty in there. And then once I test the carrots to make sure they're cooked all the way through, then I'll add the noodles. And I just use Rouse homemade spaghetti noodles. I like the texture they give, so they're not the cheapest, but like I said, I like the texture that they have. So I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'll show you when I'm all done. Okay, carrots are tender, and there was probably 2. You know how when you take them out and they're like this, there was probably about that much, and I just broke them into thirds. The broth is a little heavy on the thyme, so that's okay. I'm going to only be the only one eating it, so my husband might. But so on the thyme for this small of a batch, I would use maybe 1/4 teaspoon, because I used about 1/2 teaspoon, and it's too much. But like I said, I might end up adding some more chicken stock here in a minute. I added some water just so I didn't have to crack open another container of stock, but I might go ahead and just do that to help dilute it a little bit, because it is strong. I put in as much as I would for like the big huge stock pot, so that's okay. It still eats and it's good for you. Anyways, guys, so I'm going to wrap this portion up, and I will see you for the next little project that I film for this week's video. Okay, I went ahead and added the noodles, like I said, and I didn't add any broth or water or broth because I wanted to see what the noodles would do, and it offset the thyme perfectly, so I don't need to do anything different to it. So yeah, and the noodles just give it that little bit of creaminess, because those noodles are amazing. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy some lunch and get some laundry done, and I'll be back in a bit.